Today is because of love. The love that has united Peace and Abby together. And as you know, this journey of love does not start today on the wedding day for any couple. Today is an important milestone in this journey of love. But their falling in love happened a while back. Do you guys remember when you first realized that you're in love with each other? They're only shaking their heads, they're not speaking. So that journey began a while back, when one day Peace and Abby realized that really the relationship has moved on to more than being a friendship, but that they really fell in love with each other. And that love continued to grow. Love is a living thing. It's not something that's stagnant, that stays the same. Because part of love is commitment. As they grew deeper and deeper in love for each other, they moved in that commitment to each other, and that's why today is an important milestone. It's one of those ways that they're witness to that commitment. Because today in the society we use the word love for many things, and it means different things for different people. We talk about loving things, loving food, loving people. And the other thing we notice too is that what I love today may be totally different than tomorrow or what I loved a month or a year ago. So when we talk about love, something that's so essential and foundational for what we're celebrating today and for finding this new union between Abby and Peace, I think it's important for us today to really understand what type of love are we talking about. And that's why we're here today in a church, in the house of God. We're here today because by the choice of the readings that Peace and Abby chose for this morning, that second reading talks about a specific kind of love. In a moment when Peace and Abby exchanged their vows and they were vowed to love each other for the rest of their life, they're not just leaving that, well, I love you, without any indication, what does that mean really? But they're going to vow to love each other in a very specific way, in the way that St. Paul kind of explained to us or described to us what true love is. A love that's patient, a love that is kind, a love that means a commitment, a love that calls us to sacrifice, a love that's willing to say sometimes I'm sorry, and sometimes willing to forgive the other person. A love that will continue to grow, that has no limits, that has no conditions. That's how Peace and Abby can vow to promise to love each other for the rest of their life. Their love is hopefully more than that feeling, more than emotion, more than kind of a contract to be together and live their lives together. It goes much more beyond that. It's a love that St. Paul tells us will conquer any obstacle, because just like any other couple, any human person in this world, they're going to deal with challenges, with difficulties. But the way to solve those difficulties and those challenges is through love. By remembering that first time when they realized they're in love with each other. By remembering this day when in front of their family and friends and God vowed to continue to love each other in this specific way. That's why this day is important for them. And for us in the Christian tradition, we believe that love, the source of love, as we heard in the first and third reading, is from God. This kind of love cannot be lived perfectly out, just based on our own human will and our human efforts. We need some help from outside of us to be able to live this kind of love. And we believe that help will come from God. Because God is simply love. If you want to describe God from a Christian perspective in one word, that word is only love. God is love. Out of love, He created the universe. He created us, as we were reminded in that first reading. And from the beginning of time, part of God's plan for this creation, for this universe, is that for man and woman to fall in love, and through the love for each other, to witness to God's love, to God's presence. If God is love, the way that Abby and Peace will love each other will make God present in this world. They begin to become a light that shines and make that love present in this world. Make it that others can see it. And when they ask, how can you love each other? Hopefully they'll give the credit also to God, not just to themselves. So we believe in a Christian perspective that this, institution of marriage was part of God's plan for our salvation. Because for us to be one day with a God who's perfect love, we have to become people of love. We have to learn to love more than just love ourselves. Even more than just loving our wives or husbands, our children, our family members. Jesus calls us to love everyone, even our enemies. That's how deep and committed that love is that God calls us to. And we believe that we need God's help in order to grow in that love. So today we're gathered here in God's house, first to give thanks and praise to God for the calling Peace and Abby to fall in love together, to acknowledge that He was part of that process. It wasn't not just them. And to also to ask God to continue to bless their love, to raise it to a divine level, to a more than a human level, so they can be faithful to the promises that He will make in this moment. Today, this is a point in this journey, but from now on, you're reminded and you're empowered that God will continue to walk with you in this journey. The more you stay close to Him, the more your love will continue to be renewed, to be nourished, to be replenished, and to help you to conquer any obstacles you find on your way of love. Till one day, when you're with God in heaven and you're united in love for all eternity to our Creator. One thing just kind of struck me this morning as I was preparing is, when I met with Peace and Ann and asked them, tell me a little bit about yourself, why did you fall in love, what you like about each other. And I think both of you mentioned that they felt a deep connection between themselves early on in their relationship, right? Because sometimes I mix up what the couples say. So, okay, I'm right. And as I was, reflecting on their names today, we have Abby and Peace. Abby, the Christian tradition, is a place where religious men or women live, and hopefully they're living together in unity, in peace, and in love. You can't have peace without an Abby or an Abby without peace. And hopefully that's how your connection is going to continue to be. Not just about peace and love, but also a place where God can dwell in your life, in your homes, and in your actions, so you can always give praise and